Mrparka here to review the newest one from Sleaze Box, and this is Make Them Die Sleazy. Hopefully you can see the cover here. This was just released. There'll be a link below where you can get it. It's signed by Joel D. and the makers, John Miller and Chris Woods. I believe Chris Woods, yeah. And I popped this in. This is a horror anthology movie. Nothing like the previously released film Amerikan Holokaust, which is kind of like your extreme horror movie type deal about two Vietnam vets going on a killing spree. But what we have here is a bunch of shorts in here. Most of them are starring Joel D. Wynkoop. And if anybody doesn't know who Joel D. Wynkoop is, I really feel bad for you, because Joel D. Wynkoop is probably one of the best, most just chew the screen up actors of all time. He's just over the top, just great stuff here. And the first story in here is basically follows, it's kind of your creepy chain letter story, which, you know, is kind of like a generic, horror anthology story, but it's generally creepy and pretty decent, and I like the idea. The next story is basically essentially Joel D. Wynkoop. This is essentially what shows you here is you can just put a camera in a room and tell him to go nuts, and you have a movie out of it. I've seen it in other movies like a Twisted Illusions Part 2 and things like that. This guy could just make a movie by going nuts, and it's essentially what he does. It's really funny and really just kind of crazy here. I don't remember the order of all of them. There's like 10 shorts on here. There's also a cool one involving a black and white kind of like imagery one that's all images and talkover and voiceover, which is also very good. And my personal favorite one is a black and white one that is in the vein of the Twilight Zone, that stars him as a old talk show host, like a Johnny Carson, and he's kind of on his way out of things, and he's kind of complaining and kind of goes nuts and drinking and whatnot. And this is exactly like a Twilight Zone episode here.
Yeah.
It's Sam.
Come on in, Sam.
Hey, kid.
Kid. That's funny. Sure don't look like a kid anymore.
You'll always be kid to me. Funniest kid I've ever seen. What was that? 25?
30 years ago, you discovered me in that dive in Syracuse.
Yeah. And I took you out of that dive and brought you to the big time.
Yeah.
Listen, Jack. You know I did all I could with the network to try and get them to resign you. But they are dead set on replacing you with Tommy Hall. They're afraid if they don't give him late talk, he'll go to another network.
No. They want somebody younger, somebody more edgy, somebody more hip, somebody that connects with the kids. Well, I connect with the kids.
But the ratings have been down all year.
You know, I don't give a damn about the ratings, okay, Sam? I'm Jack Carlson, damn it. Nobody treats me that way. 20 years I've been at this network. It was nothing when I came along, and I took them to #1 with my show.
All all of them have different veins and feels to different old like television shows and anthologies and things like that. Most of them work, some of them don't. I thought the sock puppet one was just really just a little too stupid, but there's a kind of a punchline at the end that's pretty cool. The shadow one had a great concept. It was decently done. But I think the concept's better than the actual short. Still kind of a cool idea. And but there's a few in here that are just gold. The first one's really good. The second one is also great, watching Joel D go nuts. The third one with just the images and the twist at the end is also great stuff. But personal favorite, Jack Carlson one, top-notch stuff, gold. And then the ending is kind of a prostitute, cops looking for something like that. That one is, I thought that was okay. A little bit, kind of sloppy, but it was alright. And there's also a really fun one with a plumber who thinks this guy's a vampire. All around, this is a really fun, anthology. I think that half of them are great. A couple of them are good. A couple are just, kind of a little subpar. But overall, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was nothing like their other release, which I kind of enjoyed for its own reasons as well. But, this is also hosted by Mr. Sleaze, who is essentially Joel D. Wynkoop in makeup, corny makeup, just making little faces. It's really funny stuff here.
Welcome, boys and girls, to our Halloween special. Mr. Sleaze. That's me. Tonight, I've arranged for a cast of our characters. I hope you enjoy these hand-picked, scary, disgusting, bizarre, and weird stories will reach into your very soul and rip your spinal cord out.
Like I said, he chews the screen up better than anyone else I've ever seen. I just think he's full of energy, and I think he makes almost anything he's with. Along with him and some cool ideas that makes Make Them Die Sleazy a fun little ride that is is thoroughly entertaining. I enjoyed the whole thing. There's special features on here. There's some outtakes and things like that. And there's some nudity in here as well for you sleaze hounds and whatnot. And this is Make Them Die Sleazy. I would recommend this. It's only like $12 on their website. I'll post a link below. But I really like this. I'm a big fan of anthologies anyways, because you know how I feel. If you don't like one, you're going to like something in here regardless. I would recommend checking this one out, especially for fans of old Tim Ritter movies and things like that, and anthologies. Thank you. Have a good one.